Hey everybody, Nathan here, and with the new Fender Studio Pro talks this last week about the name change and everything else, I thought I would install it on all three operating systems to really see if there was any differences or characters between them and what experiences those might be, and share them all with you. And we're going to play back, record, and record a virtual instrument on each operating system that we tested on, watching the performance values as they change as we go along. With Fender Studio Pro, with its cross-platform compatibility, we can share projects within the Fender Studio Pro ecosystem, especially with all of the instruments and the effects and everything that are bundled with it. There's only a few other DAWs that have those capabilities, but not cross-platform. So this all started when testing Fender Studio Pro on a Linux Ubuntu system. And so now we're going to be able to take that same project, open it on the same computer on different operating systems, and record and play back on each. Let's get started, and let's go to Windows first. Okay, so here we are in Windows, and the first thing I have to do in Windows is download and install the Allen and Heath drivers. I don't have to do this on other systems such as Mac and Linux, but I do have to do it on Windows 10. I have to install the Allen Heath drivers downloaded from the Allen Heath website, and after I go through the install process, then I can launch any DAW, including Fender Studio Pro, and connect it to my audio device. Okay, and it launched here. So what do we got? System settings. Yep, and here we are. QU. So there's my QUs here. What is this already? Retry. 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 All right. Well, it works. I'm going to set it to 128 samples. Let's check the processing tab. I'll set it to medium. Yeah, it's fine. Single 32-bit. Let's check the control panel, make sure it's QU drive. Yeah, great. All right, and okay. So let's open up our project and see how well this performs. Okay, so here we are in the project that I started in Linux.
It sounds stock.
It's a very generic guitar riff I laid down. I don't know why, but it's what came out of me at that time. And so here it is playing on loop. It's stable. Let's check the performance there. And we're at 20%, solid. So that's with the Studio Verb on an effects bus. And let's disable that real quick just to see. Yep, and wow, what a difference. We're looking at 20 down to 8% on the CPU usage. But it's stable either way. It just shows that it's a resource-hungry plugin. Probably a lot of IR going on. Well, now since it's running, we need to do a little test record here. So I'm going to do something crazy and just record an awful vocal track real quick, something really off the wall. So let me just run that down real quick.
I got this song, it's so stuck sounding,
I think it sounds stock to my ears.
But the recording was successful, and now we've got a vocal track playing with some plugin effects on it. I got a fat channel and a channel strip. Everything seems to be playing in operation. Since we got a vocal track, let's lay down a virtual instrument. Let's throw a lead architect on there. I like that. It's all these are cross-platform, which is so cool. All right, good. It's got notes there, and now let's go get some MIDI. Let's go to the external devices. I'm going to have to add this in new because I don't have my device in here yet. And let's, well, I'm going to first check the receive from, oh, it's not there. Let's see, from, to, no? Okay, let's see what this is. The control panel, device manager. Yeah, it's got the Mio there, so, and now it's not showing in the utilities. So, all right, device manager, hardware, Mio, driver, details, events, driver. Okay, like, it's there. Like, why doesn't Studio One see it? Troubleshoot it, I guess. Windows detecting problems. Could not identify the problem. Well, okay, let's try downloading the driver, the official Mio driver. I don't have to do this in any computer that like Mac or Linux. So let's just run through this install. installer here. All right, finish. And now let's see what's going on here. All right, the program's launching. All right, we can go straight to the external devices, add, and receive from. Send to. It's still not there. Okay, maybe we'll do a restart. Okay, so ChatGPT told me to install this program called MIDI.io XSE or something. Never heard of it, never used it, but it's what it's recommending for trying to get my MIDI device showing up in a DAW, which I just can't get going. Personal use, I don't know. Neat. Next. Everyone. Yeah, everyone. All right, so here it is, this program. I really don't know what to do. I'm sure it does some really neat things, but apparently I have to MIDI map or something to be able to get it into here. Not sure how far I'm going to go with this. I will come back to you. All right, so I could not get any type of MIDI happening with the DAW. So I just went ahead and hand drew in some stuff, and I'm trying to time lapse that. And now let's see what we did. All right, so here we are playing, and we're at 30% CPU usage. That's with a virtual instrument now, and with a vocal track that we added. So it can record, it can play, record MIDI with an instrument, but I did hand write it in. So running that, let's put in a virtual console here because I do a full install with this, and I really like these virtual consoles. Okay, after adding on the mix effects, the CPU here is at 32%, 33. That's really good. We're running plugins, and we're running the Mustang plugins on a couple tracks and everything. We've got a virtual instrument playing, so good performance there. All right, and so now let's save that. I'm going to toss it to a network drive, restart into Linux, and open up the same project and see, by way of comparison, where we're at right now and how the CPU usage is on there. All right, so here we are in Linux. I got the Brick console added on. It's got all the same settings as Windows. We got Studio Verb active on the channels, and let's push play. All right, that's fine, and let's check the performance where we're at. We're sitting around 64% there. And let's now go to the options for the MIDI and see if it sees my Mio device. We'll click Add, and we'll go to the new keyboard there. Device name here. All right, and yep, there it is right there. Mio MIDI. Yeah, it's that easy. Oh, let's make it the default. Yep. And okay. And now let's put an instrument in here. I'm going to drop in a virtual instrument. I'm going to put none. I'm going to go over here, grab probably the presence, throw presence on here, and we'll load up a virtual instrument here. These are usually sample based too, so they can be some processor hungry instruments. We'll throw the grand piano on there just to play along with it and stuff like that. And we'll look at this mainly as a performance thing. So it loads up, there it is, it's got some notes going, and now we can make sure our latency is going to be low. I'm going to set that to medium for right now, push OK. Alright, and I'm going to go over to my MIDI controller. We have MIDI coming in, just like that. Alright, so I'm going to record one. So after recording that virtual instrument track, I got it playing back here, and we are at 73, 74, 73 to 75%, and as you can see, the high percentage of that is the Studio Verb on the voice and on the bus insert. So that's pretty stable, even though it has high CPU usage. Now let's take a look at it in Windows. By way of comparison, here it is on Windows, and it looks like we are at 37% with that same project saved and opened up here in Windows. And switched over to Mac, that same project is sitting in the early 40s percentage. At dropout protection at minimum, we're looking at 42% on average around there. Still with those same higher amounts being used by Studio Verb and the virtual instruments as always. And real quick in Mac, you can see that the Mio is noticed as a keyboard there, no problem. Well, there you have it. Fender Studio Pro running on Mac, Windows, and Linux. What's your favorite? Why don't you start the argument below in the comments? I know I have a personal favorite, and it's not the one I would wish it to be. It happens to be the Mac install. Why? Because it just works. I open it up, I add things to it, I connect things to it, and it just keeps playing, and it's quite stable. The CPU usage is pretty close to the Windows one. Windows has a little bit better CPU usage, but the thing just runs. I've had it crash on all 3 systems. My friend Steve was over last night and we're doing live monitoring with different effects and everything and recording, and it was running really good. And then when playing back and stepping through some Fender Mustang effects, we had a crash. But it was no big deal. I had an autosave. It opened right back up. I didn't have to do a restart or nothing, and we just started playing again. This isn't 8.1 or something. This is 8.0. And anytime that there is a full new version, that's why a lot of us pro users usually like to stay away. I usually don't update the day something comes out. I let it unfold a little bit and see how the water's calm, and then update once there's an 8.1, because usually some things are ironed out by then. So in summary, if you want a really good performance, but you want to spend hours installing things and trying to find a workaround for some new peripheral that you just bought and you're plugging into it and some new instrument, and you want to do all that instead of making music, then use Windows. If you want to try something new and not support Bill Gates or the Apple Corporation or anything like that, use Linux and run some command lines and stabilize it a bit, and then understand that it might not be as CPU friendly as Windows or Mac. Or if you want an overall decent experience, not as good CPU usage as Windows, but it's going to be stable, it's going to work, it's going to boot up every time, it's going to autosave, and anything you plug to it just works, then use Mac. So briefly, I'll share a little bit about my operating systems in my background. I started in broadcast, and we used mostly Macintosh and SGI, Silicon Graphics, if anybody knows what that was, and then dedicated operating systems such as like Abacus and things for CG work. And then all of a sudden, some pro apps started showing up on Windows-based computers, which were just Office computers at that time. 3D Studio Max showing up in the 3D world. I think there was SoundForge and then Cakewalk. Cubase and other ones were showing up on Windows NT systems. And there was video software that I ended up working on for a while called the Silver Fast system. And that was the first time I saw real professional production apps running on Windows environments. So that was kind of new to me. Everything had been Mac before that, such as Avid Media Composer and Pro Tools and etc. So fast forwarding to the 2000s, pro apps run on just about every operating system. It depends on what you want to use, unless you want to stay within the Apple ecosystem, such as the Logic Pro, Final Cut Pro, etc. And so coming from that background, I just veered into the Apple ecosystem, but I would like to break free of it one day into that Linux community build. I think there's a great future in that. Also, there's still other operating systems out there. Like, come on, Fender, make a SGI or an Amiga version, right? So that's my synopsis. I hope you found the video enjoyable and helpful, and if you did, share it to your friends in the industry, and I'll see you again on the next one.
Choose my words carefully here.